I grew up in a Methodist church, and we were fairly regular churchgoers, but I did not have a personal relationship with Jesus. I went to college and law school and then moved to Houston after that. And I was not specifically led to Christ by a particular person, but I was certainly witnessed to by actually some lawyers in my original law firm. And but one day I kind of went to a Sunday school lesson at First Pres here in Houston, and the message really clicked for me at that point. And that's when I accepted Jesus at that time. And that was April of 1984. Been part of a jail ministry for well over 25 years. And jail's a little bit different than prison. Jail, people have typically not been convicted of a crime. They're just waiting to be either given bail and left, or they're waiting for trial and haven't made bail. So as opposed to people in prison who've been convicted and then are going to be there for an extended period of time. So the people in jail are people who you can really only evangelize. I mean, sometimes they're only there for a night or two, and it just happens to be if that's when your service is. So it's more of an evangelical program than a discipleship program, which is a prison ministry. So I've done this for 25 years, and I can relate back to when I was a fairly young Christian. I went through a evangelism program, and I learned how to share the gospel and practice sharing the gospel with teachers. And this is a little bit like that. I mean, people need to know what to say and need to how to say it. And again, to kind of understand the biblical basis for what you're doing, and it's really the Holy Spirit doing the work. You're just kind of being the facilitator of the whole situation. I believe everybody is called to do it. Not everybody is given the same gifts in that, and some people have gifts in some things and not others. And some people might lead people to Christ through hospitality or teaching or preaching or whatever. It just kind of depends on what the Holy Spirit has given to a particular person with their gifts. But I think all of us are required to do it. And I know my wife, for example, has done just a great job evangelizing our children. I mean, they all are believers. I'm real comfortable that if we would all die in a plane wreck, that we would all go to heaven. And it was really because of my wife evangelizing our children that they're in that status, which is a big deal. In some ways, actually going to something like a jail or a prison is easier in a lot of ways, because, I mean, I guess a lot of people might be concerned about being rejected by family or friends and what that might mean. Going to prison or going to the jails to preach the gospel, you really don't have that concern at all. I mean, you just share the gospel, and in a lot of ways, it's easier to do that sort of evangelism than it is sort of the one-on-one evangelism, which requires a lot more time and a lot more give and take.